Those online, I need somebody to respond, please.
Yes, good morning. Can hear you.
All right, thank you. So today's class, how can be the last class for those that have done Excel, Power BI, SQL, right? If Python is your last class, then this is, what's it called? The last class officially, right? The remaining days or the remaining classes until your graduation will be dedicated to your project and your portfolio, right? That time is created specially so that you can have that, because a skill without a portfolio that showcases what you can do is just words of mouth, right? You need to showcase what you can do so that when you're applying for a particular role, you can use that as a proof that you are actually good at this. Do you understand that? So that is why, in view of that, we want to look at GitHub. And after GitHub, we'll look at how we can use AI analysis. Okay. So to access GitHub, just go to github.com. Is that easy, right? github.com. So what do you need to do on GitHub? The first thing is you need to sign up. Now, when you are signing up on GitHub, I intentionally did not tell us to sign up before this class. Why? Because a lot of us are going to make this mistake. Please, when signing up on GitHub, use your first and last name. Don't use nicknames. Do you understand? Why? GitHub is more or less like, let me use, for example, let me use social media platform. It's not a social media platform. It's for professional tech guys and sis. You understand? So if you go to GitHub, you can easily search for someone. Now, you don't expect me to be searching you by your nickname. Do you understand? For example, let me sign in. I already signed up, right? Let me open another account here. I have two different accounts because I only use one. Yeah. They're going to sign into an email. Username, put your first and last name all together. Look at mine. Now, if you're on your own, right, if you open your account, you can easily search for me and you will see this my name. You get. But let me come back here. Now, so what do? Just sign up, right? When you sign up, let me go to my profile. Yeah, let me log out. This is not going to work. Come in space in between. How to log into my second account. All right, so this is another account. So when you sign up, right? On your profile section, when you click on this, you see my profile. So this is what you're going to have. We understand. You might not be able to follow creating accounts and do everything in the cloud, but just watch and you see what I am going to do. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Here you can, when you go to your profile, you can click on edit profile, put in your name, your bio, every other thing, social media, whatever, right? I can also bring in an image here, right? You can bring in an image. Where is it? So you can upload your photo here, right? If you want to, I would advise you to bring in, of course, not just any picture, a professional one. So you can have that. So having done that, what do you have to do to start creating or start to put your project out there? Now come to what we have here. Go to your repositories. Are you with me, please? When you go to repositories, now any project that you are putting out there will appear here. Now, but before we go to this, what do you have to do first before coming here? Now, let me open my projects that I have here. Let me start with this Excel project. Now, the very first thing you need to do is, of course, you have your data set that you want to analyze. You know what you want to do. Do you understand? Now, what do you now do? You conduct your analysis. I'm waiting for this to load. All right, so this is my analysis. Okay, and this is my dashboard. Can you see, right? Have you done all of that? Of course, if you are using Power BI, SQL, every other thing. Now, what do you do? Document what you have done. How do you document? So look at a sample of documentation here. Now, the title of my analysis was what? Pizza sales place. Do you understand? And look at my introduction here. I said, an Excel project analyzing a year worth of sales from a fictitious pizza sales place. The data set encompasses details such as pizza type, size, quantity, price, and ingredients. The goal is to derive actionable insights to inform strategic decisions and optimize overall operational effectiveness. Now, afterwards, I went to my table of contents. Project overview, the scope, objective, the expected outcome, document process, purpose, use case, data source, data cleaning and processing, then my data analysis, my visualization, my recommendation, and conclusion. Because what I want to do is, at the end of the day, somebody is requesting for, okay, do you know Excel? Can you analyze it Excel? I say yes. Okay, let me see what you have done. All I'm going to do is just to share a link, and the person will be able to access all of this. So when I'm not there, the person can understand what I actually did, the analysis I did, how I started, what was my objective, what problem was I trying to solve in that analysis? Because something about analysis is the fact that you must understand the problem. And what are you trying to do? You are providing what? A solution to that problem. So if you don't know, if you don't understand the problem, then you end up doing nonsense, basically. Do you understand? So anybody reading this should understand what you are trying to achieve. And in understanding what you're trying to achieve, how did you not achieve it? So after achieving what you wanted to do, right? What recommendation or what insights did you get from it? After getting those insights, now what were the recommendations that you gave based on the insights that you got? You get what I'm trying to say? Now, this project overview, right? This project involves an in-depth analysis, right? More or less like little repetition of what I said in my introduction. Now, what is the project scope that I use there? It covers a comprehensive analysis of pizza sales, including order details, order, pizza type, and pizzas. Now, what I have here, I work with 4 different tables. The first one is what? Pizza sales. Second is what? Order detail, then order, pizza type, and pizza. Okay. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. I work with those 4 tables. And I said that the analysis span a full year. So if I go to that data set, it means that when you look at the transaction dates, right, it's just for 1 year. So anybody reading this has an idea of what the data set looks like. Do you get? Please, those online, are you following? Those
Yes.
online, are we? Okay,
Yes,
thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Now, the project objective. Now, the primary objective of this analysis are, number 1, we want to look at the sales analysis, right? We want to look at sales pattern over the year, identifying peak times and high demand periods. Do you understand? So these are questions that have been asked. I want to provide answers to them. I want to look at product performance. I want to evaluate which type and size of pizza are most popular and generate the most revenue. Now, you see, what I'm stating, they are very, very definite. So anybody reading this knows that, oh, okay, this is what this person is about to do. I said customer preference, analyze ingredients, ingredient popularity, and preferences to define the menu offering. And I also, operational insights. I want to uncover inefficiencies, an area for improvement in operations and supply chain management. Now, what are the expected outcomes? The outcome that I expected in this analysis. Now, I said the analysis aims to provide actionable insights, including, well, we want to look at daily customer counts. How many customers are they having on a daily basis? Which day of the week has the highest customer? Do you understand? I want to look at identification of peak hours. Which hour of the day brings in more sales? Average number of pizza per order. How many pizza are they ordering per order on average? I want to identify best sellers, look at revenue analysis, also to detect seasonality in sales. Also, recommendations on menu optimization and promotional strategies. Now, what's the purpose of this document? Now, this documentation serves as a guide for project stakeholders, providing insights into the project objectives, data source, data analysis, visualization, and other relevant information. Because at the end of the day, the person that might read this might not be a technical person. Does not understand all the technicality you've gone through in your analysis, right? But what you're trying to do is to ensure that whatever you are doing is so, you bring it down to the level of somebody that has zero knowledge of data analysis. Do you understand? So that when they are going through this, they know that, oh, you can actually help them solve this particular problem if they have such or encounter such problem. Now, use case, what do I mean by use case here? I'm referring to, okay, what those are will be in need of this particular analysis. Do you get? Now, business owners and management, this analysis will help them in decision making. It help them in what? Revenue optimization. And also, it's going to help the marketing team. How? It helps them target campaigns, because if they are saying this particular pizza is not selling well, maybe they can now run a campaign for that particular pizza. Do you understand? Also, it helps them in what? Promotional strategies. It also helps the operational team. How does it help them? In staffing efficiency. If you see that by 12 noon, we have crazy sales, right? That we are barely attending to all the customers. What will happen? Once it's 11:30 a.m., we can have increase in what? Staffs. Initially, if there are 10 staffs on ground, we can double it and make it 20, possible. Now, it also helps in what? Process improvement. Now I'm now saying, okay, this data set I worked on, where did I get it? I said what? This data set is for, the data set for this project is sourced from Maven Analytics. So I'm trying to tell them where I got this data set from. Maven Analytics website designed specifically for practice purposes, right? Now it is presented in an Excel file with 4 tables. The first table, second table, third table, fourth table. And I gave more details. I said comprises of what? 48,000, 21,000 plus 32 and 96 rows respectively. So I'm trying to say the first table had 48,000 plus rows. I said the second table has 21,000 plus rows. The third one has 32 rows. The fourth has 96 rows. And I also said the first table has 4 columns, second table has 3 columns, fourth table has 4 columns, third table has 4 columns, and the fourth table has what? 4 columns respectively. So without anybody going reading this, and the person that I have access to my data set, the person knows what my data set looks like. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because I've given enough details here. I also said the data set include key attributes essential for comprehensive analysis. What did I do here? I gave out all the column ID that we have. Or what is that column ID? Column head. I gave everything here. You see, that are needed for this analysis. Then I said what? Data cleaning and processing. So how did I clean my data? Was there a need to clean my data? How did I process my data before I start analyzing? Can you see I'm going step by step? Everybody
Excuse me.
Anybody
Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. So can you go back the just a step above? Can you just go back? I want to ask the question. Okay. So yeah, that place. So you said that you got this data set from Maven, and I'm guessing that you probably also copied this information from Maven, right? Because Maven will give you a data dictionary.
Yes, please.
Okay. Is it okay to just copy it as it is from Maven, or you need to paraphrase? You know, this talk about plagiarism and all of that.
Copy, please. Copy.
Oh, we can just copy. Oh,
yes. Please.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. All right. Thank you.
But sometimes if you're not getting your data set from Mavens, right? Like Kaggle, some other, if I'm even creating a synthetic or maybe using Python and the likes. Oh, please remind me. Let me, after the class, let me show how you can create a data set with Python. So, what if you don't have access to data dictionary?
You have to do yourself.
Yes. So it means you have to understand your data set, right? But then, how can you do all of that? Don't worry. I will show you when we get to AI or ChatGPT. Okay. Now I said, having clean data for analysis. So what did I start? What I started here by telling the importance of data cleaning. I said having, so I made a mistake. I should say having a clean data, not having clean data. Oh, I think it's correct. Having clean data for analysis is essential because it ensures that the insights are accurate, reliable, and free from errors. There's nobody that will read this. The person will say this person knows what he or she is doing. Clean data makes the analysis process smoother, helping researchers, analysts, and decision makers to draw meaningful conclusions and make informed decisions based on trustworthy information. After thoroughly checking the data for quality and suitability, including looking for errors, inconsistencies, missing value, and duplicates, I found that the dataset is well organized and consistent, except the other ID column, which will require the proper function to ensure that each word begins with an uppercase. Very clear. I didn't have to do much clear, but there's a particular column I needed to apply a function to make it what? Clean, simple. So anybody reading this knows that I have done data cleaning on the particular column, the function that I used. Well, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Okay. The data follows a standard format and uses consistent names. All the necessary fields are well presented and filled out correctly. The data values are accurate and each column has a correct data type. Importantly, there are no duplicate records. So it's very, very important to do that. So if there are duplicates, you remove it. And you note it here that they were duplicates. And you remove it. Put out the process here. You understand? If it's Python, you bring out the code that used to remove the duplicates. If it was SQL, you write out the code how you're able to remove the duplicates. Do we understand? And I said additional data processing steps. So what did I do? I extracted columns. So I said to create a unified data set for comprehensive analysis, various columns were extracted from other tables. I work with several tables, so I have to extract column from one table to the general table, from the other table to the general table, right? And integrated into the other details table. So I'm trying to tell them that here, my other details table is the general table. So I extracted several columns from other table to what other details table. And what did I use? I used my VLOOKUP function in Excel. These columns included the columns that I extracted: date, time, size, price, name, pizza type ID, category, and ingredients. So those were the columns I extracted from other tables to what the general table. Why? This step ensures that all necessary information were consolidated into a single table, facilitating easier and more efficient analysis. Then somebody is thinking, how do I come up with all of this? When you're doing your own documentation, don't worry, you will get it. Right? What happened? Okay. Right, don't worry. Don't worry. So addition of new columns, right? Now, and I said several new columns were added to enhance the data set and enabled more detailed analysis. And the columns included month, date, quarter, revenue, full size. So meaning I now created new columns. That means I extracted my month column using the transaction date. I extracted my day from the transaction date. I extracted quarter. I extracted revenue by multiplying unit size by what? What is it called? By unit quantity, by unit price by transaction quantity. Also the full size. And I said the additional columns are crucial for examining sales trend over time, identifying determining peak sales period. So I've given out a lot of information here. And the person reading this now understands the things I have done before I started my analysis. Listen. Don't worry, we'll get there. The very first thing is, so how do you get all of this to start with? Once you open your data sets and you start, for example, this is the data set, you've not done anything. And the very first thing you do is, number one, thank God for Maven. Maven gives you data dictionary. You can use that. Maven gives you summary of your data sets. Do you notice that? You can use that as your intro. You can use, now, how do you now get your objective and scope? Scope is talking about, for example, you can use your transaction dates, maybe for a year, a month, and part of that. You can use your transaction dates to get that. Having look at it, you can know this for 3 years. That's in your scope. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, more about your data set, is your transaction ID, your project, your objective, what you want to get. From your recommended analysis, you can get your project objective. Look at what I'm trying to say. Okay, now, having look at that, You are now looking at your data sets, you know that, oh, I need to use a particular function on this column to make it, what's it called? To be it in the right format, right? What do? Go somewhere, write it down. I use so function on this particular column. So basically, what you are doing is you are documenting your process, although it's not detailed like this. You understand? But you are documenting your. Now, we went to your analysis. Oh, I extracted so colon. How do I extract it? I use this, document it somewhere. I have this column. How did I do it? I multiply this column by this column, document it somewhere. So as you are doing your analysis, you are documenting everything you are doing step by step. Anything you do, document it. Now, it might not be this detailed, but just ensure that you have all the documents. Are you with me? Okay, so I will show us an Excel project, a Power BI project, SQL project, a Python project. I have everything here. That is what a good portfolio looks like, right? In fact, that's not even her. A good portfolio should have all your skills, right? Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python, then Power BI and SQL. So let's continue. I now went towards my data analysis and science. So this is where I started about analysis. I started with my scenario again. The primary aim of this analysis is to derive valuable insights from pizza sales place data by conducting a comprehensive examination of key factors. The multifaceted exploration involves several pivotal objectives. Firstly, it seeks to know how many customer pizza sales places have each day, and if there are any peak hours of the orders. Secondly, the analysis aims to identify how many pizzas are typically in an order, and if there are any best seller. Thirdly, a detailed investigation into how many money were made this year and if there are any seasonality in sales. In addition, this analysis seeks to know if there should be any pizzas to be taken off the menu, and if there are any promotion it can leverage on. Lastly, to know any category to be taken out of the menu and how they have contributed generally to the sales. I have defined my recommended analysis. And I said the key benefits of this analysis include operational efficiencies, improved staff's scheduling and inventory management, customer insights, identifies peak and slow days, financial planning, aids in revenue projection, and cost management. Strategic decision-making, informed marketing campaigns and menu optimization, customer experience, and of course, enhancing service quality and management strategies. Then I said, as a result, this analysis provides insight addressing the following question. Number one, how many customers do we have each day? And how did I do that? I explained the question. I said the primary objective of this question, this analysis, is to determine the daily customer count at pizza sales place using the order ID. So I specify the column I'm actually using for this analysis as a proxy for individual customer transaction. What does this column identify now? The unique column for all the transactions. This information helps in understanding the daily customer flow, identifying peak and slow periods, and optimizing business operations. And I said to achieve this, for those that have done Excel, you understand what I did. And I said a pivot table was created. So that was how I got that analysis. Do you understand? Okay. A pivot table was created. The day column was placed in the row section. The order ID was placed in the value section to count the number of orders. The results were visualized using a bar chart. Now, this is the result. Can you see? Now, you can see from what we have here, Friday has the highest sales. And Sunday has a what? Least sales. Why is my started the day? Okay, now what did I do? I now explain this analysis here. I said from the analysis above, or from the above analysis, Friday has the highest customer count. Well, popular for social gathering. So I gave a reason, a possibility for the reason of for this what was it called? Highest count, right? Number one, it's weekends, right? Social gathering, people want to do TGIF, right? You said? No. Yeah, because of Friday, everybody wants to do TGIF now, right? So there's a possibility for that. Those that want to carry baby out. Those that want to go to club, go to club. Those that want to be at home will be at home. Some will order pizzas because of that. So now I said Saturday has second highest, right? So it's a continued high activity due to leisure and social activities. Do you understand? I said Thursday, with this number of customers, you're also indicating a steady increase as the weekend approaches. So you can see as the weekend approaches, there's an increase in what? Sales. I said Tuesday and Wednesday shows approximately consistent mid-week counts. So look at Tuesday and Wednesday, of course, just not exactly the same figure, right? See what we have here. This is the exact figure. What I did there was an approximation, right? This is the exact figure. You can see just a difference, right? So it reflects stable dining habits. I said Monday shows slight dip, likely due to start of the week. People are rushing to work. People are not really ordering pizza because the beginning of a new week. I said Sunday has the lowest count. I said possibly due to home cooked meals or different activities. On Sundays, naturally, people want to cook at home and eat. They understand. That's a lie. Well, now, personally, I prefer to cook on Sundays. That's just good. So now, the next question, it says, is there any peak hour for customer order? What did I do? I explained the question. If I keep reading, there's a lot to read. I will still have a lot to do. So I said how I was able to do it. Pivot table was created, how I inserted my pivot table. Now, this is the chart. Now, which time of the day has the highest order? So without even looking at what I wrote here, based on general, what's it called, belief, why will you say 12 noon and 1 p.m. as the highest order? It's break period for us, right? It's break period. So people want to go out. Even on the norms, once it's 12 noon, go outside here. There's traffic along Allen. So break period, people want to go out to go and eat. Do you understand? And anything, once it's 1 o'clock, anything past 1, they are returning to their office. Once it's 2 o'clock, there's a decrease in sales. Look at it here. And you can see even 3 o'clock, decrease in sales. Once it's 4 o'clock, sales starts increasing, right? People start closing from work. You can see 6 o'clock, sales. Once it's 6 o'clock, people want to go back home. Can you see? So that's what I explained here. Now, how many orders are typically in, how many pizzas are typically in an order? I explained that, right? How did I get it? I use a formula here. So per order, we have average of one pizza per order. First question says, do we have any bestsellers? Are there any pizzas we should take out of the menu or any promotion we could leverage? In order to address that, I wrote all of this. I can't be reading again. And I now identify top 5 selling pizzas in terms of order. And these pizzas that they are ordering, the top 5, this is it. Do you understand? Also, I went to the least 5 selling pizza per order. That is the least 5 that they are not ordering. Afterwards, I also looked at best and least selling pizza by revenue. That is the top 5 pizzas that gave the highest revenue. Afterward, I went to the least 5 that is producing least revenue. I went to, okay, I said, how much money do we make this year? Can we identify any seasonality in sales? How much money do we make? Total revenue, simple, right? And this is total revenue. Seasonality in sales, I looked at what sales trend from January to what? December. And you can see the highest sales is what? July. Least sales is October. Okay, so I explained that quarterly sales, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So fourth quarter has the highest, has the least sales. So they can make decisions from here. Okay, afterwards, how did the pizza category contribute to the total revenue? So we have chicken, we have classic, we have supreme. So all the categories are doing really well. Chicken contributes 24% to the overall sales, 26%, 25%, 23%. So they are doing really well. And afterwards, I went to my overall visualization. Oh, I've not changed this. This is not the visualization I have. It's different. This is the overall visualization. Then I went to my recommendation based on my analysis. Right? Went to my recommendation. I went to what? Conclusion. Right? And I did this. And that was all. I've documented. The very first thing is I documented it on my Microsoft Word. I moved it to, what was it called? PDF. Okay. So how do I push all of this to GitHub? I will explain. Is it possible to? So the thing is, you have access to it already. Everything here is on my GitHub page. If you search me online, you will see it. So I don't need to share it. All you have to do is go and look for me on GitHub. So let me take this out and let me open. Let me open Power BI. This is my data sets. This is my documentation. Now, there was something else I also did. Let me go back to. Once you have all your documentation, one thing you need to do, have a screenshot of all your images. Can you see what I have here? Can you see? And give it the name that they actually represent. Can you see? Why do you need this? I will show you later. Do you understand? To ensure you have all of this in another folder. So this is my Power BI documentation. I think this is more extensive. Of course, Mexico toy sales. I won't read all of this again. Can you see? My project scope, business objective, document purpose, right? Now I said skills demonstrated. Data connection in Power BI. data profiling, data cleaning and transformation of Power Query. For those that have done Power BI, you know, understand. Data modeling, data analysis, data visualization. Then my data source. I gave details here. And I did data connection in Power BI. I gave step by step how I imported my data. All of this, I call it CRM. Why? I'm just trying to show up. You get. I was able to get my data. For those that have done Power BI, you know, you understand all of this. I was able to connect, do everything. So just see. When I use Power Query, I gave a screenshot here too. My data profiling. For those that were in class, we did this, yes or no? Can you remember? So all of these are error, please. If you want to understand it better, go and search me on GitHub. And you see what I did here. My first name and surname now. You will still see it, don't worry. I'll still go to GitHub. Okay, see what I did. This one is quite small, 27 pages. 27 pages now. I worked with multiple tables here, so that was why. Now, and I did data modeling. For those that have done Power BI, you understand this, right? Okay. I was able to do all of that. Then I went to data cleaning and processing, like what I did in Excel. So I created new column. How did I create new column? The columns I created, the DAX formula that I used. I see. The DAX formula that I used. I see. Can you see? I created new measure. The formula that I used to create the measures. So I gave everything. Now I went to data analysis and what insights. So the first question is, which product category drive the biggest profits, quantity, and revenue? Is it the same across store locations? So this is my visualization here. You can see. Second question, can you find any seasonality trend or pattern in the sales data? I've not even started. So that's a different thing entirely. I'm just telling you how to document. You can see profit trend over time. Gave the summary of my analysis, revenue trend over time. You can see. Look at my recommendations, quantity trend over time. So you can see. The third questions, are sales being lost with out of stock products at certain locations? I was able to achieve that. This is it. Right? How many money is tied up in inventory? This was the formula that I used to get my answer. And this is my word data visualization. You see, my overall dashboard. And these are my recommendations. This is what my conclusion. Can you see? Please, any questions so far? Those
Okay,
online.
I have a question. I have a question
Okay.
actually. Okay, so you said we can go to GitHub and we can get all this information from your profile, right?
So when I say you can get it from, I mean you can use it as a guide.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. Okay, but I'm
Yes.
just curious. So is it not possible for people to just get on your profile and then take your work and claim it as their own?
So the thing is, when it comes to analysis, right, especially for practice purpose, there's no analysis you want to get online for practice purpose that somebody else has not worked on. Do you understand? So what would I even say? If you go and take my work, number one, it's my account, right? Can you even download my images? I'm not sure if you can even download my images. Do you understand?
Okay, so it cannot be downloaded. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it can be downloaded. I'm not sure. When we get there, we'll see. We get
Okay.
it. But the idea is you are putting out all your work there. Anybody that wants to use it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because that analysis you are doing, go and search online. Thousands of people have done it.
I've probably done it. Okay.
There's no way. Just search that particular data set and look for analysis on it online. People have done it.
Okay.
So put out your thing out there. So here's my conclusion and the likes. Bye-bye. Now let's go to one of SQL. So this is my data sets. This is my documentation. Now in SQL, remember that you don't have charts. You only have tables. Do you remember that? So the same thing applies there. You might not necessarily use everything I use there. You can be very creative. If you go online and see a good documentation, some is more detailed, some is not as. The idea is that when somebody is going through your documentation, they understand everything you've done. That's just the basic idea. You get. So we have a similar pattern here. Similar pattern, right? My data source. Now look at data cleaning and processing, right? I created new column, what was it called? The query I used. Now, what can you notice about this query? And you know, I would have said update, then in front of it, financial consumer complaint. I changed 3 lines to how many lines there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you think I'm writing something very long. Everything is a scam. But it's not a scam, right? It's just to make you look more professional. Do you understand? So you can see, these are my queries that I used. So you can see. And these are my results. You need to add them in the table, right? Because in SQL, you can only have is tables. You cannot have charts. So let me keep scrolling. So you can see. So these are just my analysis. These are identify the most common issues for each product. This is quite long. Don't stress yourself. The key observations and all of that. Number 3 question, how many complaints are typically resolved? This is the query that I used, right? This is my analysis here. Can you learn anything from the complaints with untimely responses and all of that? So these are just my analysis. I can't go through everything. We'll not leave here today. I do. So another question, trend over time. All right. So the idea basically is as you're analyzing, please document them first on your Microsoft Word, right? Because you can convert it to PDF later. while you're analyzing, as you're getting everything, don't even think of GitHub first. Document them somewhere. Do you understand? That is a Microsoft's work. And I just want to answer the question. Where did I copy them? I type them on my system. Which app? Who told you I use that app? Who told you I use that app? Microsoft Word. Okay, let me take this out. Let me go to Python. And of course, please, where is Power BI? Okay. So that's what I did just now, right? Okay, here you don't need images because there are no images. So Python. Okay, so for Python, almost the same process. So let's keep going. Data cleaning and processing. You can see this one has lesser words. So you see, I imported NumPy, Seaborn, Matplotlib, this one. Don't worry yourself about it. Then I read my data. Then I explain everything here. You can see what I did. Okay. What did I do first? I passed my path into what? A variable. Then I pass that variable into what? Pandas.read_CSV. Do you understand? Okay. So now look at everything I did. Data.info, remember that, right? And this is what I got. Data.isNull.sum. They are null values. Handling missing data, did all of that. So I will still go through all of this when I go to GitHub, right? Remember this. Not everybody is asking, what is this? Yeah, don't worry. When I start working on your project, you understand. So afterwards, this one is much, 43 pages. It's quite. So these are, you said? So these are my own personal project that I worked on. So see what we have here. Okay. See what we have here as well. And see this. So the same pattern follows basically. All right, now let's move to GitHub.
Okay, so I noticed something. I noticed that you showed us some column charts that had different colors on the charts. I don't think you have taught us that. Yeah, each bar was a different color. I don't think you've taught us how to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm coming out to bring it out.
Okay.
Do you mean this?
Yeah, I think I have like there are like 2 or 3 of them.
So to get this, it depends on your data sets. Do you understand? Where did I have my analysis? Education, campaign columns. So what did I do? I group education by campaign columns, right? And I find the mean of each of the campaign columns. And we have different campaigns. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the legends, right? So just like I did 2 different lines on our line chart. So this is like having multiple stuff on your bar chart.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
depends on whatever you are doing. So
Okay.
just like we had legend when I did line chart, the same thing we get.
Yeah.
I had here.
Okay, for the line thing. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Thank you.
So now to GitHub, first and foremost, let me show you. Now, this is my personal GitHub profile. Now, if I was applying and somebody is saying, share your portfolio with me, what am I going to send to the person? This is what I'm going to send. This link here. Or I can go to my home. Where is home? Or profile. I can share this. github.com/oluwaseun. If I copy this and I share it with anybody, do you understand? Once the person clicks on that link, what happens? The person automatically gets to what? My profile. And the person can now see that these are all my projects. Do you understand? Then the person can click on it and then access my projects. Now, for example, that of Excel, this is it. Person clicks on it. Now, see, these are the analysis I did. Everything you saw in my documentation, now you can see everything here. What will you notice? Number one, all of these, they are links. If I click on project overview, it should take me what? To my project overview. If I go to click on my conclusion, it should take me to my conclusion. Now, here I click on data source. That is, anybody reading through this, I would also want to access that data set I used. If the person click on this, what will happen? Hey, let me go back. Let me right click and open the new link. What happens? It takes the person to Mavis. Can you see? Okay. So I can continue. Now see my image. How did I bring this image here? I'll show us. You can see everything I have. Now, let's continue. Let me open that of SQL. That is a financial consumer complaint. Now see what I have. Look at the way my query is appearing. Can you see? It's not appearing just like as an ordinary text. We get a text. And you can see I have my table. How did I create all this table? I'm going to look at it. So look at all my queries here. Look at my queries. You can see the way they are appearing. So you can easily copy this. This is a query. It's a code. Do you understand? Let me go back and let's look at Python. So look at the libraries are important. Look at what I did. I explain my code here. Can you see? Look at the same thing here. Everything I did. Can you see? So anybody going through this knows that I can check through my code, my query, and see that, oh, this is wrong, this is correct. Do you get? Same thing here. I was able to plot this. Okay, so that said, how do you now create a project on GitHub? Now, to start, you have to come here, go to repository. The repository now. Now, this is what you have. Do you understand? Then you click on new. If you click on new, this is what you have. Now you have your repository name, the name of your analysis, right? I can say sales projects. Right? I'll give a description. It is optional. The description is what you are seeing here. This. Can you see? That is the description. So I advise you put it. Now, ensure this is set to what? Public. Can you see? So that anybody can have access to it. Afterwards, click on Add README files. Can you see? After you do that, you click on what? Create repository. I hope I'm recording. Let me check. Okay, I am. So having done that, this is what we have now, right? You can see this is the name of our project. So what do you do next? Come here. We are down. You can see this plus sign. I'll click on it. And I'll click on what? Upload files. So what am I going to upload? Now, all the images I want to use in my documentation, this is where I'm going to bring them. Can you see? So I'll just come here. Let me use that of I'll come here. I'll select all, Control A. Can you see? And I can drag. Now I'll drag everything, drop everything here. So it's uploading. So we have everything. I'll click on what? Commit changes. So my file has been uploaded rather. So now I can now start documenting. Do you understand? Now to start documenting, I'll come to this README where we have sales project here. I'll click on this edit file. Now I can now start documenting. Now there are rules to documentation here. Now, number one rule is that to have an heading, do you understand? I use what? Hash. Can you see? And I have to put a space. So for example, I already have an heading, right? Let's say I want to have another one. And I want to say introduction. Right? I can preview what I just wrote here. I'll click on preview. Can you see? I have an heading with a line showing that that is an heading. Do you understand? Now look at the font size. What if I want to reduce the font size? What do I do? I increase the number of hash I have here. If I come here, for instance, it has reduced. Let me go back to my edit. If I put another one, for instance, if I go to my preview, for instance, it has reduced again. So the number of hash you put determines the font size. The higher the number of hash, the lesser the font size. The lesser the number of hash, the higher the font size. Font size. Do we understand that? Okay. Now, I will now go to my documentation. Now, this is it. So let's say I want to bring in this. I'll copy all of this. Control C, right? You know now, I'm not typing on GitHub. I'm just what copying and pasting. I'll come here. Go to my edits, come down, Control V. I'll come to my preview. And you see what we have. I'll come here again. I want to bring in all of this. I'll copy and paste. Come here, come to my edits. Now, when I'm handling like this, like it is not an heading, I'm writing afterwards. Please give a space in between, then paste, Control V. Now, let's see what this is going to give us. And this is what we have. This is not what we want. Now, this is an heading, right? But the kind of heading I want to have here is not the one that I'm going to have, say, a line, like what I have. It's not this kind of heading I want to have, right? Now, let me show you the kind of. I want to have. Now, to have another one here, what do we use? I think it's double asterisk, but double asterisk. So if I come here, see what we have. This is now bold. Are you see? Now, to ensure that they are on a single line, what can I do? I'll come here. Now, let me come back to my preview. See. Can you see? Is it clear, please? Okay. So what if I don't want to have that? What if I want to use hyphen? To use, when I mean hyphen, I mean to use bullets. To use bullets, we use hyphen. Can you see? To use bullets, we use hyphen. So if I come like this, can you see? I don't want to be typing this one after the other. That is how to type on GitHub. So if I go to my preview, that's what we're going to have. Can you see? Is it clear, please? Those that are online. Any questions so far? Okay, now we have covered how to do something like this, right? Double asterisk. So let me do this to see.
Sorry, a question, please. In your own project, those headings were links. How can you make them links?
Those headings were what?
The table of content, you made them links.
Yeah, I will show you that. I will show you how you can do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll come down. This is project overview. So I'll put this one, double asterisk, come here. Double asterisk, let me go to my preview. You can see this is not what I want. Yes or no? You understand? So what will I do? I'll come to my edits, come here, then just give a space, review, and this is what I have. Can you see? Do you understand this? Okay, now let me keep going down. So it means we can do this. Can we? Let me do this. See, I'll come to my edits. Now this is an heading. I'll use double asterisk, double asterisk. I'll have to take this one down once, right? Now, please listen. This is not bullet. Bullet is what? Hyphen. Do you understand? So I'll just come here. And what did you observe? All of this now, Microsoft Word, they were what? Bold, right? So I just make them bold. Double asterisk, double asterisk, double asterisk. Double asterisk. So if I do this, can you see? All right, let me continue. I don't need to do all of this. I don't need to do all of this. We can now do it based on what we've learned. Now, let me now do, no, where is data source? Have I passed data source? Now this, let me copy only this. So I'll go to my edits. Of course, double asterisk, go down. Now, if you notice something here, there's a link here. Yes or no? So how do I put this link? Now, the very first thing I need to do is I need to go to, let me just use this place. You can locate the, what's it called? Link to that data set. Mine is pizza sales place, right? So I'll come here, I'll type pizza. This is it. So this is a, if I click on this link, it will take me here. Yes or no? I'll copy this link, Control C. Can you see? So I'll come to my, yes, but how do you paste it to edit? So I want that when they click on Maven Analytic website, when they click on this, it will take them to the link. So what will I do? This Maven Analytic website, I'll put it in what? Square brackets. That means, are you here? I'll put it in the square brackets. right? And I open a parenthesis in front, right? Then that link, wait, hope I don't write something else. Okay. Then that link, I'll put it inside that parenthesis. Are you see? Then this one should go down. What do I now do? I will come towards my preview, see what I have. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to what? To that data set. So any other person that wants to go and download that data set and work on it, when the person logs in, right, it takes you to the person. Yes. So those online, do you understand what I just did? Do you understand those online?
Yes.
All right. What happened? You're tired. Do you want a break? Do we want a break? Okay, so today's break will not be long. 10 minutes, please. Thank you. So we'll be back by 11. Okay, so 11:50. We're back by 11:50 because we have to conclude this today. We're still going to do ChatGPT. All right, so let's take 10 minutes off. Yeah, there's holiday on Friday and Monday. Mr. Ali will post it, so wait for him to post it. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's start. Who knows Saki Motors here? This guy that sells cars in Abuja. Who knows it? Cars in Abuja. My brother is not for civil service. You know, federal government has one day. Yeah, it clearly. All right, I want to believe those online are here, so let's continue. Now, let's go to, now, how do we bring in image, right? An image like this, how do we bring in an image? To bring in an image, number one, it's very simple. So to start with, I want to open this. One thing I love about GitHub is I can open two different, one account of GitHub, two different tabs or more than. Do you understand? For example, I open this here, right? I can also open it here. So where is it? The one I'm working with presently, let me go to my repository. Sales projects, right? I'll open it. Now, remember we brought in all these README files. So here, I want to bring in the image for number of customers per day, right? Having written everything needed and all of that. So how do I bring in this image? I will start with, I'll come here, I'll look for it. That's why I said when saving your images, what do you use? When saving your images, ensure that you use the name of those images so that you can easily identify them. So I said number of what? Customer per day. This is it. I'll just come here, I'll right click on it, and I'll what? Copy the link. Once I copy the link, I'll come here, I'll use my what is it called? Exclamation mark, open my square brackets, close it, open a parenthesis, right? And paste that link inside, Control V. Can you see? So if I come to my preview, see what I have. Is it clear? I understand it well. Yeah. Exclamation mark number one is on keypad number one. Exclamation, open square bracket, close it, open parenthesis, paste the link, then close it. That is all. You understand? So that is how you go about this. That's how to bring in an image. So what again? We brought in an image. What do we want to do? Huh? Table. Yeah, I'll show us table. So we brought in an image. Let me close this. Let me open. Power BI is still images, right? Nothing. So let me open SQL. Now, how do you write SQL codes or queries? To write SQL queries, now this is a query I want to write. I'll copy it. Control C, right? I'll come to my edits. To do that, what am I going to do? I will use this sign. I don't know what it's called. 1, 2, 3. No, not this. Can you locate that on your keyboard? Mine is before number 1. You can locate it, right? So, having done that, I'll say SQ, I'll come down, paste my query, can you see? Then I will end it with the same sign, 1, 2, 3. Can you see? So if I now come here, you see. That is how to bring your SQL queries. So it will now come up like this. Now, what about Python? To bring your Python, now very first thing I want us to look at is how do you even get images from your Python or from your Google Colab? How do you get those images? To get those images from your Google Colab, it's actually very simple. They are open now. All right. Click on your plots or your charts, right click on it, save image as, then give it a name, save, simple, that's all. That is how to get your images. So let's go back. Now I was trying to open that on Python. Now, this is it. This is the query I want to bring out. Can you see? I'll just say Control C. Come here. Go to my edits. The same thing, 1, 2, 3. Going to type Python. I'll paste it. Then I'll hand it with 1, 2, 3. If I go now, and I come here, can you see? That is how to bring in that. Now, what about a table? How do you bring in italics table? Okay. So let me open SQL. Okay, so let me bring out a table. Having a table can actually be a little bit stressful, but then, of course, we have to learn it. Now, to have a table, I'll come to my edits. Now, I'll start with, what is this called? Where is it again? Okay, can you see what I have? The very first thing I need to do is what? Define my column edge. Let me use what I have here. This is, I want like, let's say 3 columns. Let me just write anything I can think of. Let me say products, right? I'll come again. Let's say price. I will say profits. Can you see? And I'll do this again. Huh? Yeah, that's the column head. To define, I want to define the column head first. If I do this, what have I done? I've created a table with column heads. Let's see. Can you see? So what if we now want to include things inside? What do we do? So I'll now come here and I'll do the same thing. Sorry. So product, let's say Fanta. Price, let's say 5. Is that? You have to do it yourself, no matter how. I'll show you how you can do it without having to do all of this. So if I come here, I'll do this. I'll say this. Hey, also. If I go to my preview, see what we have. That is how you have the table. So in a case whereby you now have this kind of table, this is very, very long, right? How do you do this? Let me say Control C, copy this. So this is where I will start introducing ChatGPT. I can paste this here. Can you see? I just pasted it. Then I'll say, I can say, return this for me or to me in GitHub table format. So all I have to do is what? Copy, come to my GitHub, click on edit. I will come here, I will paste. So after pasting, please, what will I do? Come to my preview, then see. I didn't have to type. Okay. So how do we, which one haven't I mentioned? Okay. What if you want to have italics? To have italics, use this with the word underscore I'll carry my face like I didn't say, I didn't write anything. So to have italics, no, why did I write? Was it hyphen I use? Oh, I was supposed to use underscore. So if I use underscore, you can see I have what? Italics. Okay. So basically, that is how to document on GitHub, how to write. So with the knowledge of this, you can have a full or complete documentation on GitHub. Do we understand? Okay. Now, having done all of this, what will you now do? Just come here, commit changes. Click on what? Commit changes. Having done that, everything is now saved to your what? Repository. If I come to repository, now this is your project. Okay, so if somebody say, oh, share me your project on Excel, what do? Click on this. After clicking on this link, copy it and send to the person. Simple. Do you understand, please? Now, that being said, that is all about GitHub. Let's go to ChatGPT. But then you can also go further, right? No part of what I'm teaching you. You can go further and be much more professional with your, what is it called? With your portfolio. Do you understand? For example, this is the portfolio I use. This is my own personal portfolio. Can you see? So if you scroll down, you can see my name, of course, my portfolio, my skills. Now, these are all my portfolios. Can you see? Now, if I now click on anyone, it will still take me back to what? GitHub. Can you see? I used just Python though, not Google. I didn't use Google, I used VS Code. It was one page. It's not a data analysis work, right? I was able to manipulate it because I know how to use Python. You get it's a software work because I had to host it on my GitHub. And that's not a data analysis, right? It's just something I went to learn. I was able to use it. You get. So the same thing goes to, let me go back. No, talking about this. So the same thing goes to every other project here. So instead of sharing GitHub directly, I share this, right? But this will still take you to what? GitHub. Do you understand? Some people use Canva. Some people there are several things you can use. So that is all about GitHub. Do you have questions from GitHub, please?
Yes, you said you show us how to make the subheadings links.
How to make
the subheading.
Sorry, how did I forget? Okay, now back to GitHub. Now you can see this is what we have as let me reload this. Now this is our project, right? Now each of these heading, right, that I use asterisk for. Once I use asterisk, right, it shows that it is a new heading. Do you understand? So for each of these heading, conclusion, recommendation, and everything, when I want to have them in my body of my documentation, I will use asterisk. I can now use like 3 or 4 asterisks so that the font will be small. Once I use asterisk, it's going to give me this. Can you see? This is like a link. I didn't use it here. That is why I'm not having a link. Can you see? I didn't use it here. So once you're having each of these sub-edits, please use asterisk so that it can now give you something like this. So what do you do? I'll copy this. I'll right-click on it, and I'll click on what? Copy link. Introduction. That's why I have this. Asterisk, sorry. Hash. I've been mixing it together. Sorry. Use hash. Your hash will give you this. If you use asterisk, it will not give you. So use hash. I'll right-click on it. I will copy link. Can you see? Now I'll come back here. Go back to my edits. So I'll come here. For example, this is assuming the link I copied was my project overview. What will I do? I'll come to my project overview, put it in square brackets, right? Then open parentheses in front and put that link inside. Then I'll come here, preview. Right? So if I click on this, it will take me to that subtopic. You get? But if I click on this now, where will it take me to? Introduction, because it was a link of introduction that what? So you're going to do the same for all the subtopics that I have. So once I get into this subtopic, what you'll be using is not asterisk or what? Ash. Do we understand?
Okay, sorry, I really don't. Because this table of contents, it's on a Word document. And they're on different, like they could all be on maybe 2 or 3 pages, of the Word document. So what link are you copying? That's what
okay. See now, for example, after you copy to your GitHub, right? For project overview, I will not use this, right? I'll take it out, right? I'll use let me use 3. For project objective, I'll use 1, 2, 3, put a space. For data source, 1, 2, 3, put a space. Now let's say that is 4. What do? I'll commit my changes. So I'll come here and I'll reload so that what I saved will appear here. So you can see, this is what my project overview. I'll right click on it, I'll copy link, I'll come back here, go back to my edits. Now for my project overview, I'll put that one here. I'll come back here. For data source, I'll right click, I'll copy. I'll come back here, go to my data source, put it in square brackets, put the link in front. And you see, come back here, which one again? Project objective, I'll come here, copy link, come here. Oh, so it's even the one I use for overview, but let me just put it here. Come here, do this, open parentheses in front, put the link inside, commit your changes, come back here, reload. So see what we have. So if I click on this, I see, took me to data source. So that's how it works. Do you understand now, please?
Yeah.
All right. So back here, now let's look at ChatGPT. Now, what can you use ChatGPT for? A lot, right? Number one, for example, with your SQL, if you are getting error with your queries, you can copy the query, then under is copy the errors to give you, to show you your error, and to give you the correct query. The same thing for what? Python. You can also use ChatGPT to prepare for interviews. You've been sent the job description, drop it on ChatGPT, ask them for possible interview questions, we'll give it back to you, and the answers. Are you with me? If you have a data set, so this is my data sets, and these are the column heads. I have no idea the kind of analysis I want to do here. I can copy the column heads, Control C, come here. I'll paste it first on my notepad. Where's my notepad? Come up. I'll paste it first in my, why is this thing slow now? So this is my notepad. Let me bring it out. I'll paste it on my notepad, Control V. Can you see? Then I'll put a comma to differentiate each of the column, comma. Come here. So these are each of the column. Company public. Wait, let me be sure I'm doing the right thing. I'll check here. Company. Okay, I'm correct. Timely response. All right, so I'll Control A, Control X. And I'll come back here. I will say I have a data set with the following column. And I'll say I need analysis for this data set. If I execute this, now see. So you can see it's giving me recommended analysis I can perform on this data set. Can you see? Do you understand? Now it's even asking, would you like me to help you to design a specific dashboard, generate SQL queries, or write a report outline for these insights? You can say, now the first one is, let's start with number one. Can you see? Now, which one is this? Python, right? Please, are you following? It's giving me in Python everything I need to do, the query I need to use, or the codes I need to use. Can you see? Use SQL. Can you see? So sometimes you may come across some data sets, you don't even know what to do. This will help you out. That does not mean that all your analysis will not rely on what's it called? ChatGPT. No. You can use ChatGPT, but then learn from it. Do you understand? Learn from it. Now, you said? Okay. Hmm. You find that they make mistakes sometimes, right? And that's why if you're not a data analyst, you cannot use this. So you will know when there's a mistake. You understand? You will know. So that's why you will not just copy and paste. When you copy, see what you are copying. So that's okay, this is what they are trying to do. Now, for example, I have this now. I don't even understand this query. I can copy the query, come here, and I'll say, explain this in detail. So when you are confused, tell it to explain it, and you see it one after the other. Can you see? So when you say a particular query, it's giving you an answer, but you don't understand, please try to learn it. Because it's not every time you'll be able to use ChatGPT. What if you're in an interview and you're given a data set to work with and you are being monitored? What do? You start playing ChatGPT. No. Do you understand? So this is going to help you. You can use ChatGPT for several things, a lot. Do you understand? Okay. Now, how can you use ChatGPT to now one thing about ChatGPT is the ability to prompt. If you are very, very good with prompts, you will enjoy ChatGPT. Of course, it has limitations on ChatGPT 4 and all of that. But if you are very, very good with prompts, you will enjoy ChatGPT. Do you understand? When I said prompt, do you understand what I mean by that? Okay, those online, do you understand what I mean by that? I need a response online. Nobody is answering. Okay. Now, I want, how do we create a data set with Python or Google Colab? I want to create a synthetic data sets on Google Colab. YouTube. For YouTube account, using Google Colab. I need the codes to make. Now you can now, what's it called? Customize this. You can say with 1,500 entries. You can customize whatever you want. So I will execute this. So see what it's telling me to do. So while this is loading, let me go and open my Google Colab. Okay, so I'll connect. So I'll come here. I'll start from the very beginning. So it says, okay, it said we should set this up. What do? We copy it and what? We paste. What do? We execute. Can you see? Now this might take a while. Done. I'll open another one. What's the next instruction? It says, then import all of this. Copy and what? Paste. Done. I'll come here. It says what? We should define data generation logic. I will just copy this and what? I'll paste. Done. I'll come here, copy the next thing, create a data frame and save to what? CSV. I'll copy this. Paste. So this is the data set generated. Can you see? Continue. Now I want to save it to CSV. Copy. Ctrl V. Paste. That has been saved to CSV. I'll click on this. It says to download. I'll copy it. Ctrl V. I will execute. That has been downloaded. I'll come here, come to my downloads, click on this. Look at the data set we just generated. Can you see? And you can work on this, analyze it, upload it as a project. Do you understand? Okay, so that is how that works. So please, any question? Any question, please? No question. We are done for the day. So please. And for those that this is your last class, till you hear the date for your graduation and presentation, what I want to now start your project on Python. What I want to see from you now is your portfolio on GitHub. Start working on it. By now, you should have projects on Excel, Power BI, SQL, and then you should be awaiting to have this what? Python. So by the time we are going to do our presentation, we are going to present any one. If it is 3 you have, you present 1. If it is 2 you have, you present 1. If it is 1 you have, you present 1. If it is 4 you have, you present 1, which is your best. Do you understand? So the responsibility is now on you to start building your portfolio. Do you understand? So it means what are you going to be sharing with your link? Is that well understood, please? Those online, why am I not hearing anything from you guys?
Hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you get what I said, please?
Yes, I did. I've actually been trying to speak for a while, but my laptop, I don't know what's wrong. So I've just joined on my phone. Can I
Okay,
just
no problem.
ask very quickly that based off of everything you've shown us, I feel like they are also very isolated individually, you know, these SQL, Power BI and whatnot. Is there like a way to like use them in a workflow? So do you start from Excel and then where do you take it to SQL and then when do you use Power BI and then Python, for example? Because I've seen some videos online that shows like a workflow. I've not watched them, but I'm just wondering, is there like
So
from start to finish?
Like when do you use, right?
Sorry? Okay, am I?
Excel, right?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, no, yes.
I said your question is you're asking when do we use Python? When do we use Power BI, right?
It's all breaking, but I think, yeah, I think generally, not necessarily when to use them as a software or whatever they are, but like how do you interlink? So obviously I know with Excel, SQL, and possibly Python, you use them to analyze and then the visuals like Power BI or Tableau. But my question is, if you get a data set, where are you supposed to first go first to do anything in it? Do you need to do stuff in Excel? And then when do you move to SQL or do you just move to Python? When do you know SQL is better for this project than Python or vice versa?
Okay. So this is it. Number one, let me start with, if you are building your portfolio, are you with me? You pick a data set from the beginning to the end, use Excel. Pick another data set from the beginning to the end, use Power BI. Pick another data set from the beginning to the end, SQL. Pick another one from the beginning to the end, use Python. Pick another one from the beginning to the end, use both SQL and Power BI, combining both. Number one, what are you trying to do that? Why are you trying to do that? You are trying to show that you are actually good in all these tools. That is the first step. Now, subsequently, the analysis you are now doing determines the tool you are going to use. For example, you need to do correlation, you need to have a scattered plot and all of that. Definitely just go for your Python. You can see that the kind of visualization we're using on Python, you couldn't use them on Excel or Power BI. Do you get? So it depends on what you want to use. And sometimes you can even ask ChatGPT, what tool is the best to use for this particular project based on this following analysis I want to carry out? Do you understand?
Okay, I hear. Thank you.
Okay. Now, when we're doing Power BI, when we're using Power Query, and we're able to automate some things, right? Where we just have to upload and it automatically updates the visualization and everything. Seeing that if you have a job like that and you are not being required to use any one in particular, then you can go for that to make your work easy. You know what I'm trying to say? But definitely, if you have data sets that is on a database, that's how you can access it. What do you do? SQL. Do you understand? So basically, oftentimes there's no like a hard rule to hit. No hard rule per se. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay, thanks.
All right. Please, any other question?
Okay, let me also ask a question. So if we want to import data that we've analyzed in SQL, for visualization in Power BI, do we have to do any further analysis to show it? Or, I mean, how does it just display? Do we just import from SQL and then?
Okay, I think I did that. Didn't I do it in this class?
No, you didn't. Because I remember Maiwa asked you the question that, so how do we visualize? And you said we can import into Power BI, but you didn't actually.
So did I show us how to import into Power BI?
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I did not.
You just told us to import.
Okay, so let me show you how we can import.
Okay.
I didn't know I did show us how we can import from SQL to Power BI. I thought I did. Yeah. Well, did I show how to import data from SQL to Power BI? Oh, wow. I know. No, one is different. Now you still do it. So I'm coming. Let me quickly open my Power BI. Probably my Power BI is loading. So let me take out all of this. It's going to slow down Power BI. So I've opened multiple Power BI. I need to take it out. I'm coming. My Power BI is loading. So sure.
Okay.
My fellow Muslim sisters and brothers, you are coming next week and you come here empty-handed, I'll send you back. Those that are joined online, sorry, on site, those of you online now, there's no way we want to collect our salary. If you come here, you use this part. Put fry it very well. If you come here next week without meat, we send you outside. All right, so let me. Okay, now this is how, even though you've not done SQL, please listen. If you have not done SQL, it doesn't matter. Listen. Now, get data, right? I'll go to our SQL server. It's also here. I'll just click on it. So now it's asking for server. What is our server name? Remember our server name. Let me go and open it. Okay, cancel. Let me go open my SQL so that we can see what I'm talking about. Comments loading. All right, now let's look at what database we use the class. Did we use the class there? Data store data, I guess, right? Where did we have our banking stuff then? I think it was here. Okay, loan, customer, and the like. I remember we created the relationship between all of them. Okay, now let's now go to Power BI. Now I'll come here, click on this, my connection. No, I already disconnected. Now you can see this is my server name. I'll copy it. Come here. SQL server. Bring in my server name. Which database am I looking for? So I may not specify. I will see it later. I'll say, okay. So let's wait for it to load. Can you see all the database we created? Can we see? Now, the table I want to look for is under this database. I'll click on this arrow here. Now, I want to bring in accounts, branch, customer, and what? Load. I'll click on what? If I load, where will it go? Power BI. If I transform, where will it go? Power Query. For those that have done no work. So let me just load directly to Power BI. So wait for it to load. So this table, if we had created a new column on Power Query, on SQL, it will appear here. Any data cleaning we do, dealing with the columns and all of that, it will appear here. Not everything per se. The analysis we do will not appear here, but the relationship we created between tables will appear here. Yeah, we appear here, but the analysis we did itself will not appear. But the cleaning we did, adding new column, doing all of that will appear here. Now let's now go to our relationship. You'll see it here. So can you see? So can you see, this is the relationship we created between the tables. So what do we just do here? We just go ahead to what? Visualize and do whatever we do. We need to create a measure, then visualize. Miss Fumi, do you understand now?
Yeah, so we still need to work on it. That's what I wanted to confirm. We still need to do
Maybe creating a measure, yeah, you still have to work on it,
okay,
then
we
you
still need to do
visualize.
all of that.
Yes.
Oh,
But all the cleaning you did on SQL still appears there.
so the only advantage of taking it through SQL is just that all the cleaning would have done all the cleaning in SQL.
Yes, yes. And the reason why you might have to go from SQL to Power BI is because imagine the data set, you only have access to it using database, which is SQL. You don't have the Excel file. And they require you to visualize your analysis, right? After you've done your cleaning on SQL, what do? You just come to Power BI, import it and visualize for your stakeholders. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay, so there's probably no need to then do an analysis in SQL then. I might as well just bring everything to Power BI and do the analysis here and then visualize.
If that is what you want. Right.
And I'm just saying because if you do that, all of that in SQL and then you come here, you have to do it again.
Yes, sure.
Okay, but what about Python? Can you also visualize Python here?
Yes,
Python?
We've done visualization now.
No, as in Power BI.
No. So you mean bring in from Python here? No, it's
yes,
not part of
visualize.
No, it's not part of our sources here.
It is. It's listed here. Visualization PY. Is that not Python? Under visualization. Can you scroll down? Because I'm seeing it. No, if you under visualization.
Under visualization.
Can you close this? Can you close this, please? Can you cancel? Can you click cancel? Okay, so visualization here, build visuals. That PY is enough for Python. There's PY, there's R, there's.
Where is that?
Right.
I can't see it.
Under visualization, build visuals. Next to filter, to your right. To your right, yeah. So go down. There's PY. That's not for Python. PY, there's R, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Python visual.
You need a. So the thing is, I've not used this before.
Okay.
Right? I've not used it before. Whatever I visualize on my Python, since I have my charts, that is what I display.
That's used.
Personally, I've not used this before.
Yeah, sorry, can I ask a question based on that, please?
Yes, please.
So, on Python now, it's like all the visuals are separated. So how will you bring them on to be able to view it at a glance?
Like have a dashboard?
Yes.
No, you have a dashboard. That's how you're going to have it.
So how will you now present it for your stakeholders?
You can look at the documentation I did on Python now. Did you see that?
Not everybody can read Word format. So what's the essence if I can't bring it together at one go?
I think there's probably a way to bring it to Power BI and then have your own dashboard too. Because I mean, there's a menu there, and it's just that, like you said, maybe he hasn't used it before.
That's what I'm thinking.
So whatever I do on my Python just remain there. I bring out my charts, right? And I present my charts. That was just
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We can also
That's
ask
why
GPT
if you are talking about visualization too, you will not hear Python being mentioned as a visualization tool. Do you understand?
So if that is the case, what's the essence of Matplotlib, Seaborn, and all this stuff if we can't bring it together at a go?
The essence is so that you have your charts.
Now, those charts will now be distributed in different places. They will be all over. So how are we going to see them at a go, and I will present it in a meeting to my stakeholder?
So to present, what are you trying to show them? This is what you are trying to show them. Show them the charts. For example, still using what I have here. What is it called? Where is it? Still using what I have here. When you're presenting it now to your stakeholders, right? Everything does not have to be extremely worded as mine. Where is Python here? It doesn't have to be extremely worded as this. Do you understand? It might not be worded as this. Where is it? Is this SQL or Python? This is SQL. No, this is a Python. So why am I saying SQL there? think there's a mix-up with this my portfolio. I didn't notice. Where is it? Okay. So whatever you are trying to, where is it? For example, let me look for an image here. Right? This is what I'm trying to show here. And I'll bring out this. This is the chart for it, and everybody can see. Do you understand? See, one thing I've come to understand so far is the fact that analysis is beyond dashboard. Are you with me? You can have a very wonderful, beautiful dashboard where everything is nonsense. It's far beyond what dashboard is. That were you able to answer the questions? Do you understand? Were you able to provide solutions to the problem at hand? Everybody is confused. Were you able to, what's it called? Bring conviction instead of confusion. You get what I'm trying to say? So data analysis is not just dashboard. It goes far beyond it. Do you understand? So basically that is it. Any other question? Any other question?
So you said this is our last class with you, right?
Yes. The remaining weeks, they are for you to build your portfolio, because when you are graduating, you should be graduating with your own portfolio. Do you understand?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it means anytime we have class now, you are not with us, what you should be doing is what? Working on your portfolio. So it means after today, open your GitHub account. The project you've done, you don't have to do another one. Now document them. Do you understand? So for the project you have done, you know you're not starting from scratch again. You're only going to document them. And for those that have done all the 3 projects, it means the only one you want to start afresh now is Python. So you can see the essence of your assessments now. The project you have done, go and document them, upload them on what? GitHub. Have your own repository, right? So that you are almost 100% ready for any opportunity that comes your way. Now, a lot of people miss opportunity because of simple things like the things that they know all these tools, but the recruiter wants to see the things you have done, but then you cannot present a portfolio. They are going to throw your CV somewhere. Because if you are not showing them a portfolio, they believe that everything you are saying just words of mouth. Do you understand? And not practical. So do you get what I'm trying to say? So the remaining weeks, dedicate them to your what? Portfolio. And then you send the portfolio. We are also going to review the portfolio. And also, we are also going to present your best project. Do you understand, please?
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
So no more classic. That means no more class again from next week.
For those that have done all the 4 tools alone, for those that are not yet to do the remaining, class continues, please. Do you understand? For example, those that has not done Excel, our next class will start Excel. But for you that you have done all the 4 tools, start working on your what? Portfolio. And await the date for your what? Presentation. Do you understand? So the training has not ended, please. No. Building your portfolio is part of the training, it's part of the packages. Do you understand? It's part of it. So your training has not ended. This is now time that you yourself now have to put in the work. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Last question for me. Please, is there any particular reason why we use SQL Server and not maybe MySQL or the other?
No, no
other
particular
one?
reason, because
No,
I'm the
no
one
reason.
training, and that's the one I use.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it.
Alrighty.
But if you had asked, is there a particular reason why we are using Power BI instead of Tableau? I would have said,
No, I know the reason.
Okay, Tableau is paid, Power BI is free.
Yeah, I know.
So the reason why we are using Python instead of R, I think R2 is paid, Python is free. I think so. But if you know one
And
of
R
those
is quite
two, you are good.
complicated from what I hear.
You said?
I said that R is quite complicated from what I hear. It's a statistical programming language.
Okay. And most recruiters, what you are going to hear is Python or R, Power BI or Tableau.
Tableau.
You understand? So you always see, or so once you know one, you are good to go.
Good to go.
Or maybe later, when you are grounded in all of this, you can pick it up yourself, right? And learn. Later, you understand? Merging all of this together right now might confuse yourself. You get.
Got you.
So that is it. Any other question? So please, when it's time for presentation, you people must not be found. You people must not be found wanting. Everybody will be present, either online. Everybody is going to participate. Is that okay, please? All right, thank you very much.
When is this presentation you're talking about?
So it will be a class before graduation. So once the date for graduation has been announced, then we'll know the date for presentation. So start preparing towards it. Do you understand? But it's most likely towards the end of this month or early next month. Do you understand? Possibility, right? I've not given a particular date. So just start preparing towards it. And then when someone asks you, what is the result of all your training for the past 3 months? You can confidently show them a portfolio. See, the thing is, oftentimes people have met, and you can show them a complete portfolio after 3 months. They are surprised because they believe that, how can you do all of this within the space of 3 months? You understand? But of course, it requires your dedication, and if you are disciplined, you can have all of that. So that's it, basically. Any other questions?
All right, thanks.
Keep it coming.
Sorry, can I ask one or two, please?
Sure, why not?
And my apologies if you've mentioned this before. I've just not been attentive. When is our next class? The first one?
So the apology was needed.
Yes, I know. I was a bit distracted, so I imagine you have mentioned it. So my apologies.
Those that have done all the tools, right? Officially, this is the last class. But your training.
Okay, because you were mentioning next week. You said Salaram next week if we come to class. So I was thinking we're actually going to log in and.
For those that have not done Excel, we are starting Excel next class.
Right. Okay.
When you have finished the 4 tools, the remaining weeks till your presentation is for you to build your portfolio based on what we learned today.
Okay, so it's self-learning.
So now,
from next week.
So
okay.
All the assessments you've done, turn them into a portfolio. You don't have to start building from the scratch again. So if you have done Excel, that project, document it. That is your Excel. That's your portfolio for Excel. If you have done Power BI, document it. If you have done SQL, document it. The only one you'll be doing from scratch now will be what? Python, because you've not done any assessment. So it makes your work very easy. Do you understand? So
thank you.
Your portfolio, and of course, we know who has the best portfolio here. We are all going to determine that. So thank you very much. Any other questions? All right, that will be all for today. We'll
all right,
see
thank you.
When we'll see. Thank you very much. Bye.